The jungle is vast and damp, and black as ink, when the first whisper slips between the trees. I am dead. I am in hell. Mist coils around cypress trunks. Distant artillery flashes die, the clouds a bruised red. Somewhere above the canopy, the stuttering blades of a helicopter drift away, carrying the voice of the dead into the night. No shots are fired, yet the words themselves do the work a bullet cannot. For in Vietnam, to die far from home is to become a ma phang lang, a restless spirit condemned to wander, hungry for the warmth of family incense, thirsty for the cool splash of graveside water. The Americans have learned this, and they have pressed the lesson onto magnetic tape. In the spring of 1969, the 6th Psychological Operations Battalion labels the real ghost tape number 10. Engineers layer a child's sob, a mother's weeping, the soft clang of funeral gongs, and finally, the hollow baritone of a Vietnamese soldier who insists, through static, "My friends, go home before it is too late." They plan to let the jungle carry the message, and see which is stronger in a soldier's heart: duty to a distant ideology, or dread of the unquiet dead. April 12, 1969. River Patrol Boat PBR 742 Ghosts south along the Mekong, with her engines clutched low. Sergeant Thomas Willard crouches beside a dull red indicator lamp, thumb resting on the tape deck's play switch. Water slaps gently against the hull, each beat sharper than a pistol crack in the silence. The men trade quiet looks, boredom, fear, a twinge of guilt none will admit. Willard presses the switch. A child begins to cry. A breath later, the dead man speaks. The words roll off the black river and seep into the tree line. I came back to tell you. It was a senseless death. Senseless, senseless. For perhaps 6 minutes the jungle only listens. Then a single, panicked shout breaks in Vietnamese. Ma, ma, ghost, ghost. Muzzle flashes stutter among the palms. Cherry sparks skip across the water. Willard's cocks and guns, the throttles and the PBR melts back into the dark, leaving nothing but ripples and the impossible voice. On shore, hidden in a flooded slit trench, 18-year-old Private Nguyễn Văn Hoa clamps both hands over his ears. The voice does not fade, it burrows inward. The cadence is wrong, the pitch distorted, but somewhere under the laboratory hiss he hears the lullaby his brother used to hum when Ho was a boy. His brother, killed 2 months ago at Bontre, calling his name from beyond. Ho forces himself to peek above the trench. Fog rides the riverbank in low sheets. Pale shapes drift between the trunks. They might be ghosts. They might be the after-images burned into his retinas by muzzle flash. They might be nothing at all. But the song, that song, slips through him like ice water. Fear does the rest. Just before dawn, exhausted and trembling, Ho steps onto the river trail and surrenders to a 2-man American patrol. He is crying when he speaks. Anhe MV, brother, I am coming home. Later, intelligence officers record grid references to 2 ammunition caches. He volunteers, unasked. A single reel of tape has kicked 1 stone from the wall. After action reports will call the operation mixed, but sometimes startling. Some Viet Cong cadres laugh at the broadcasts. Yankee superstition, they say, nothing but cheap parlor tricks. Yet bunkers are found abandoned. Footprints vanish into the interior. Rumor travels faster than any helicopter, and always there is that uneasy question, whispered around cookfires. What if the Americans are wrong but the spirits are real? For the men who played the tape, the question cuts 2 ways. Sergeant Willard writes in his diary that he will never forget the first time the deck's reels began to spin. It felt like I was letting something out of a cage. He does not say whether he means fear in the enemy, or something darker that might drift back across the river and haunt the hand that loosed it. Decades later, cadets at an American military academy sit in a stark classroom, headphones clamped tight, listening for themselves. The instructor pauses the audio at the first wail and asks, "What did you feel?" No one answers immediately. Some call it manipulative genius, others call it a spiritual war crime. All agree, the tape is hard to forget. Somewhere, the real still exists. Ghost tape, ghost technology, an echo of a war that will not quite sleep. And in certain villages along the Mekong, elders still warn children not to follow voices at night, because sometimes the dead borrow a stranger's tongue. The jungle keeps its own counsel. On windless evenings, when the water lies flat as polished obsidian, a listener might catch a far-off whisper, "My friends, go home, before you end up like me, wandering forever." And perhaps the voice is only memory. Perhaps it is only a story soldiers tell themselves to explain the strange hush that clings to the margins of old battlefields. Or perhaps, just perhaps, some souls were never laid to rest, and the tape only gave them a way to speak. If you ever walk those riverbanks, and night comes sudden and heavy, you may hear it too. If you do, remember Ho's choice. Decide whether to investigate or freeze, and hope the spirits accept your answer. The wind will carry their reply, a final warning. The recording you are about to hear is ghost tape number 10, unedited, exactly as it echoed. Through the jungle, in 1969. Dim your lights. Put on headphones. Listen until the last gong fades, if you dare.
Vợ tôi đang bà đang về với con. Tôi đã về với mình đây. Nhưng tôi còn đâu mảnh hình hài nữa. Tôi đã chết rồi má con bây ơi. Tôi hẳn không biết chừng nào. Các bạn của tôi ơi, tôi trở về để nói cho các bạn biết rằng tôi đã chết. Nếu phải địa ngục tôi chết thật là oan uổng, thật là vô nghĩa. Nhưng lúc tôi biết thì đã quá muộn rồi. Các bạn ơi, các bạn còn sống, còn có ngày các bạn gặp được người thân yêu của các bạn. Các bạn tôi không có nói trở về các bạn, muốn mau đi, dứt khoát mau đi, lừa bỏ đi các bạn ơi. Nếu không thể tránh được cái sự cảm thương như tôi. Trở về đi các bạn ơi, nếu không thì quá muộn rồi, quá trễ rồi. Trở về đi, về đi các bạn ơi, về đi. Về đi.